As we all know, Puka Nacua went down with an injury. He's going to be out for some time. And now we're looking at these wide receivers on the Rams. We talked about Tyler Johnson the other day in a unique video. We strategized around him. Now it's time to look at Demarcus Robinson and strategize around him as well. We looked at both wide receivers in this video, but it's now time to deep dive Robinson. But before you do, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're talking about these players every day. We're doing these deep dives of these trending players, these trending topics, these guys climbing the depth chart after an injury happens. We just deep dive all the players around that, guys at the top of the waiver wire, so you can look at the advanced analytics, get a deeper perspective of what's going on with that player. And obviously you clicked on this because you're interested in Demarcus Robinson. You're going to be interested in more players, and this will be here to help you with your decisions. Click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. We also use these videos to help you set your lineups as well. But Demarcus Robinson saw 7 targets, caught 4 of them for 42 yards, 8.2 PPR fantasy points. Not massively productive, but he was last year with the Rams when he was filling in for injuries. And you look at the wide receiver depth chart. Puka's out. So you got Demarcus Robinson, Tutu Atwell, Jordan Whittington, Tyler Johnson behind Cooper Kupp. And the fascinating thing about this, Demarcus Robinson, older wide receiver, but he's very dependable. He was on the field last year. He was on the field week 1, getting it done, getting targets. And when he was filling in during that span, week 13 to week 18, averaged 15 points per game, PPR. So he can be viable when the team needs him. He will be on the field because Tyler Johnson is a good prospect. He was great coming out of college, very productive, 2,000-yard seasons, early breakout age. The advanced analytics coming out of college liked him, but he fell in the draft, went to Tampa Bay. He was even on the practice squad for a little bit. Now we're with the Rams, and we got a little bit of run in week 1, and everybody's looking at him. We talked about him as a waiver wire get, but as a cheap guy to get off the auction, if you want to just throw like $1 fab to see what happens if you did not want to pay up for Demarcus Robinson. Demarcus Robinson, people wanted him more, so he was more expensive. If you did not want to pay that price, if you wanted to save your money, but still have a crack at this wide receiver depth chart, maybe throw a little chip at him, see what happened, and if you got him, you got him. But from what Sean McVay said, and this is from Coach Speak, we've got Cooper Kupp and Demarcus Robinson. We've got Cooper Kupp and Demarcus Robinson. Then 3 other guys. Tutu Atwell, Tyler Johnson, Jordan Whittington. So that says there's potential that with those 3 other guys, it could be ambiguous. Tyler Johnson right now is the guy between those 3. He should be on the field, should be running routes. Jordan Whittington looked good in training camp in preseason. Tutu Atwell has a history with his team, and he has been productive in short spurts. But again, Tyler Johnson right now was getting the targets and the routes. Demarcus Robinson locked in. We know this. Jordan Whittington's a rookie that can be used in the slot. Tyler Johnson kind of taking that Puka role, but he's not going to run with it like Puka. And you're looking at Jordan Whittington and Tutu Atwell. Atwell's got the speed. He's a smaller wide receiver, but he's very explosive. Jordan Whittington is a guy coming out of nowhere, a guy who fell in the draft in the 6th round, but really put the clamp on things in training camp, looking good in preseason, was very productive in preseason, one of the most productive wide receivers when it came to preseason production. Something to pay attention to. The coaching staff likes him. Maybe they work him in. Maybe they want to see what he can do. But when you look at the targets here, 7 to Demarcus Robinson, 7 to Tyler Johnson, it looks like Tyler Johnson is going to get some work. Looks like he is going to get some opportunity, but there is a little bit of risk for that. There's no risk for Demarcus Robinson. He's going to be on the field. He's going to be running routes. The key is when it was waiver wire time a few days ago and you're using fab money, you had to pay a little bit more for Demarcus Robinson. That's part of the strategy here between him and Tyler Johnson. Kupp and Parkinson's another guy to pay attention to. 5 targets, was running routes. Puka's gone. The ball's got to go somewhere. I look for Cooper Kupp to get fed, and he did get fed. He had a 44% target share. That's elite. That's almost unheard of. For multiple games, that's unheard of. If he does it again, that's going to be a huge season for Cooper Kupp. And Puka out could be a big thing for Demarcus Robinson because he has proven to be productive when one of these wide receivers are out. So that could be something to look at here. going forward. Tyler Johnson is a guy to look at too, but he's not as safe. You don't need him because you rather just keep stashing running backs, and that's probably what I'm doing. I'm stashing running backs because I know these running backs, the injury bug's going to start biting, and it's easier to project workload for running backs. There's some high upside running backs that are just getting dropped onto the waiver wire, or someone better got dropped to the waiver wire as well, because we're seeing that a lot. A lot of people commenting about that, people dropping high-end players who did not perform for this waiver wire class. The week 1 waiver wire class isn't really that great. It's not outstanding. It's not league winning. Maybe 1 or 2 guys can help you win a matchup here and there, or keep you afloat to keep you competitive in a matchup. But over the long haul, you're going to be dumping a lot of these guys off this week 1 waiver wire class. So don't FOMO it. Don't be dropping guys who had higher draft value or looked bad in week 1. Give this some time for some of your stash players, and a stash player that you drafted in like rounds 10 or earlier is a player you need to hold on for a bit. You need to see this through with them. You need to diamond fist them because they're a priority stash and not a guy you just dump because you feel willy-nilly. But you need a wide receiver. You need to pick him up. You want to see this through. You like the volume. You like what you saw last year. You think he can be productive, which he can in this offense. The ball's going to be flowing. They're going to be throwing the ball. He is reliable. He should be running routes, and he should get probably at least about 5 targets a game. Something around then. And it all depends on how deep those targets are, if they're reeled in, and if he gets any in the red zone. If that happens. Demarcus Robinson has that upside. Tyler Johnson on the fab budget, a little cheaper, has that capability too. He's also got some question marks with the competition and offense with what was said with McVay. McVay sometimes just a straight blunt shooter too, but you have to like read between the lines there. I believe from what we saw from a workload perspective, Tyler Johnson's going to be out there running routes, getting opportunity. He's going to have a shorter ADOT. His average depth of target was 4.4 last week, which isn't great. So you're going to need a lot of volume and touchdowns to be able to buoy that, where Demarcus Robinson's going to get some deeper shots, get more opportunity, which will allow for more fantasy production. Demarcus Robinson, though, if you're looking for a waiver wire wide receiver stepping into a situation, you know he's going to be running routes. You know he's going to get targets. You can't ask for more than that. He's in an offense that's going to push the pace. It's going to have a lot of volume. So he's a safe get off the waiver wire. Maybe not safe for your lineups. Maybe not, because right now there's not many wide receivers injured. Maybe you're looking for a replacement for a Puka, but guess what? There's no replacements for Puka, and that will never happen off the waiver wire. It'll be another 10 years or so before we find another Puka off the waiver wire again. That's just how the cookie crumbles. There's no Puka Nacuas on the waiver wire, and it won't be next week either. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. One thing for watching. Catch you on the next video.